We've all heard of creepy YouTube channels and strange TikTok accounts, but what if I told you there's an extremely dark and mysterious account and it's lurking in the most unexpected place? Google Maps, to be exact. Now, at the surface, you might think you're looking at a normal Google Reviews account. You got a guy with a cute little Yoshi profile picture. Seems like he lives in Texas or Florida. Splits time between both of them. You see a lot of reviews. Portillo's, Starbucks, Dolphin Mall, Dunkin', McDonald's. Perhaps he leaves a lot of reviews everywhere he goes, everywhere he eats, he leaves a review. Nothing out of the ordinary. That is until you click on his photos. And you'll notice there's a theme here. And there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of these pictures. The theme being these are all pictures of waitresses at restaurants. For those of you who have never been to a restaurant or don't know what it is, it's a place where the waitresses are dressed with their yiddies showing and their outfits are pretty scandalous, let's just say. The idea is by having the waitresses dressed like this, it'll attract men to come in and eat and spend their money, maybe hit on a waitress or two, stare at their tits, and call it a day, okay? But realistically, when you go to these places, you usually just feel awkward and you try not to stare at the waitress's tits. And I know it's weird, the whole point of the place is to stare at tits, but when you get there, you don't want to do it. Maybe I'm just speaking for me because I'm autistic, but I don't know. Needless to say, these restaurants sometimes attract a strange type of person. And I'm sure at this point you've noticed these are manipulated images of women. Some real, most of them fake, some standing outside of restaurants, but the thing they all have in common, it's either a Hooters, a Twin Peaks, a Tilted Kilt, some sort of restaurant. This account is extremely unnerving, and the person behind this profile goes by the name Ricky Calderon. All of the pictures he posts are very, very similar. A woman's forehead, usually the woman is fake, and the background of the picture is usually actually a real picture of the restaurant. And these hundreds and hundreds of creepy photos that this guy has posted on his Google Maps account, it sparked a wave of speculation and theories online. So that begs the question, what is going on here? Is it just a perverted old man? Is this someone with the tism who instead of hyper-fixating on complex train systems and Thomas the Tank Engine, they instead hyper-fixated on Hooters waitresses' foreheads? I don't know. But I will say there is a few pretty good theories of exactly what's going on here. Some of the theories kind of dark. And I want to present you those theories and go over them a little bit. But first, let me show you where I found this account. It all started with this post right here on the Goose Boost subreddit. Hi all. A friend and I were around in Google Maps and decided to check Google Maps for Hooters in Miami. Okay, that in and of itself needs some explaining, but I'm going to let it slide because this video is not about the suspicious Redditor who likes to spend his free time browsing Hooters pictures on Google Maps. This video is about Ricky Calderon. He then proceeded to say, we found this creepy ass profile who only posts pictures with half a face of a woman, sometimes a third, and it's a real or 3D model. 99% of them are photoshopped. Has anyone ever encountered this before? And this singular post then set a small subsection of the internet into a frenzy, spawning many theories that I think some of them are pretty strong. And the first main theory is that it's a dude with a fetish. Quote, I really believe this is a specific fetish for getting public blowjobs in restaurant-type places combined with an exhibitionist thing. He makes the images just safe for work enough to show the world through the internet, sometimes the top of the head, but never shows the mouth. You'd see this type of obsessive, fetish-fixated photo manipulation on places like DeviantArt 10 years ago. This is really one for the books. The pictures creep me out so much like they're missing person or Jane Doe composite images. I can't imagine looking up Google reviews of your workplace and seeing a picture of yourself among all that. It gives me goosebumps. And I mean, yeah, being a background character in these photos, I'd definitely feel pretty violated. And that is a decent theory, but to me, it just doesn't explain why he's doing it via the vessel of leaving reviews. Like, why doesn't he just post these images to Twitter or something like that? Maybe you could argue that by him leaving the review, it timestamps the specific location, making it more organized, similar to like how, say, Dexter Morgan takes a blood sample of each of his victims and then he labels them. It's something that a lot of serial killers do. Not saying this guy's a serial killer, but it's a good theory. But I'm not sure I believe this is exactly what's going on. Now, the second main theory I believe is a bit more plausible. This Redditor says, I don't say this often, but I would look into missing person cases in the area. To me, this seems like advertising what type of woman frequents these restaurants so that people know where to go when they want a specific look. I think this is for human trafficking purposes, only showing the hair and eye color, specific features these weirdos tend to focus on. And when I first read this kind of freaked me out because unfortunately this is a real thing. Human traffickers, they exploit girls in places where they can easily interact with the potential victims, especially places where the people working there are economically struggling. And it's fair to say anybody working a waitress job, especially at Hooters, is A, interacting with a lot of strangers, and B, most likely financially struggling. It's safe to say that Hooters waitresses are not doing it for the passion of serving food and being disrespected by rude customers and having to give out their phone numbers probably 20 times per day. It's just not a passion that I believe exists. And traffickers also like to prey in places where the work environments have blurred boundaries, let's say, where they can just pose as customers using these blurred boundaries to get these women into compromising situations. So this is a solid theory, especially since this is a quote-unquote restaurant. It kind of checks all the boxes as far as a place where a human trafficker would scout for some victims. But if I had to put my money on this being the actual truth behind the Ricky Calderon account, I simply wouldn't do it because I believe that the next theory is, at least in my opinion, the strongest. And here's the theory. Reddit user Boxed Elder Gnome says, my completely unsubstantiated theory is that it's some sort of AI that's training itself to convincingly insert fake people in front of real backgrounds so as to gain traction on sites like Instagram to spread ads. I think all those Reddit bots do something similar. The only thing I can't explain is why only insert half a face, or why they're actually posting it. And that's when Dreamspitter came in, he just went absolutely full on Sherlock Holmes, and he said this. Okay, looking a little deeper. He seems to be around Miami and more of Florida, but he has been to Chicago. Now, interestingly, one of his reviews is for a Hooters, but in Florida, but he posted the picture of the half-faced woman, and she says, next time I'm back in the Chi. Chi-Town is a nickname for Chicago. I first learned that from Goose Island Beer. It's Chi Time. This automated bot program only makes 5-star reviews, and it only goes to Hooters and Twin Peaks. Exceptions are a barbershop, a grocery store, and a McDonald's, amongst a few others. Most of these are what people call breastaurants. I've only been to Tilted Kilt for a graduation party. I love how Reddit is such a hostile place that this guy feels the need to explain that it was a graduation party was the reason he was there. It wasn't my idea, I swear. Anyways, he went on to say, now the reason why it only posts half faces is revealed in a single photo. It shows half the face on top and a menu in the photo below. It's supposed to be taking menu photos and then dropping a pretty girl's face in. Most of the time, though, it fails. I think it only actually worked once. In each image, the picture is intended to be the reviewer, but they're all different. I believe the text in these reviews are also AI generated, and you can tell. The recommendations in the restaurant reviews are slightly off. They then show a picture of what the bot is trying to do, which I believe is a AI-generated photo of a woman, just a well-executed version of what the guy's trying to do. Have a woman with a menu in front of her face at one of these bars. That's what the bot was going for. Pictures like these that can almost be passed off as real. But what the bot is actually doing is, well, it's posting these extremely fake-looking attempts that sometimes have video game characters for some reason. And this last part right here, I think, ties it together pretty well because he says, by contrast, I think these few are real photos, but stolen from somewhere else. And as you can see, they are real photos And they are some of the earliest photos that Ricky has posted. So it almost seems as if he posted these, got lazy, made a bot to do the rest of them, and the bot is just running rampant and quite frankly just doing a shit job. To me, this makes the most logical sense. I think he's just review farming, and the bot he's using is just not good. And he's trying to climb the ranks, maybe make some money somehow by first getting a bunch of reviews on his account, and then one way or another being paid to review restaurants in need of reviews, because apparently that's a thing according to this guy. Now, why specifically is he choosing restaurants and restaurants only? I have no idea. Maybe he's trying to find a niche. I couldn't really tell you. But this video, it's a PSA. There's a guy out there, he's going to every Hooters, every Tilted Kilt, every Twin Peaks in Texas and Florida, and he's reviewing them. And he's photoshopping women's foreheads into the pictures. Now, is this a crime? No. Technically, it's legal. Should it be a crime, on the other hand? Well, damn it, if I was president, I'd throw this guy in prison. That would be the first thing I'd do. But that being said, if I had to guess what this actually is, whether it's wishful thinking or not, I'd have to agree with the AI bot theory. But I'm curious what you guys think. Did I miss a theory? Is there a theory that you guys maybe came up with while watching this? Let me know, because this is some weird shit. And it would be cool if you guys helped me get to the bottom of this. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.